What is up, everybody? This is your boy Jay Reed coming at you with another episode of Sports Blitz Media. Now, today we got a lot to talk about. A lot happened in the sports world. From Ryan Garcia testing positive, but then not testing positive for a PED. So, congratulations to Ryan Garcia. Your win still counts. Uh, and by the way, that was a very impressive win over Devin Haney. Um, Odell Beckham signed with the Miami Dolphins. Whoa, pretty big, pretty major, especially if he could be the Odell that we've seen, in the past. That would be huge for the Dolphins. I still don't see them getting over that hump, um, especially if they don't get a home playoff seed. They can't go anywhere when it's cold. So I like what Miami does. I like what they got going. They've added some key pieces in the offseason, like my guy Jordan Poyer. Uh, and like I said, Odell Beckham as well. So very interesting. Very, very interesting. We'll see what the Miami Dolphins can do when it comes to playoff time. Because 9 times out of 10, they'll probably make the playoffs, especially if Tua can stay healthy and stay consistent. Moving on. Um, yeah, I mean, there's a lot going on right now in the sports world. We just had UFC 301, Pantoja versus Usyk. Great fight. Really good fight, actually. Steve Usyk probably showed a lot of people that he was worthy of that that number one contender spot. He went out there and he fought a good fight, and he was very close going into the fifth. It was 2-2. Unfortunately, Pantoja won a lot of their transitions and their scrambles, and so Pantoja got the nod. That card was that was a good card. I placed a few wagers myself, and out of all the fights, I was 12 for 14. One of my biggest upsets was Alex Smith choking out Vitor Petrino. Um, I had Jose Aldo. Beautiful performance. Jose deserves to come back and get everything that he wants, especially after taking on a young killer like Jonathan Martinez, who still has a lot to grow. He has a lot of things that he needs to grow. He has great leg kicks, but he didn't utilize them like he did against Adrian Yanez, which, Aldo isn't Yanez. So that was a good fight. And again, Anthony Smith choking out Vitor Petrino, who's seen that coming. Some people did. He was on a little skid, and obviously he had good jiu-jitsu. Vitor shot in, tried to get a sloppy double leg takedown. Smith caught the neck, choked him out. That's all she wrote. So super upsetting. Yeah, that one hurt. Not gonna lie to you, that ruined a few parlays. But anyways, now it is NBA playoffs right now, and the playoffs are heating up. And as everyone knows, he's a star already. I mean, he was a star on the rise, star in the making, but he has officially became a superstar, and that is Anthony Edwards. Oh my goodness, that young man is a baller, baller. The Minnesota Timberwolves have been absolutely dominating the playoffs as they swept the Phoenix Suns, and they are currently up 2-0 on the Denver Nuggets. Ooh wee, uh, crazy. Crazy, crazy, crazy. This young man, Anthony Edwards, has this mentality, this killer mentality, like we've seen in some of our great superstars from Kobe Bryant and Michael Jordan. They just have that killer instinct. Anthony Edwards has that. He's been all over the court, dropping 40 balls here, dropping 40 balls there, uh, really leading his team. And again, they are currently up 2-0 in the Denver Nuggets. So that series is starting to heat up. We had the New York Knicks beat out the Pacers, which in a very exciting game. Jalen Brunson, another guy. Oh my gosh. What was Dallas thinking? I mean, Jalen dropping 40 balls here, dropping 50 balls there. Dude has been absolutely phenomenal. I mean, if you had to pick a playoff MVP, it would probably go to Jalen Brunson. Dude has been killing it, killing it. Super impressed by his play. They ended up beating the Indiana Pacers, who have been playing really good basketball themselves. Uh, Obviously, there were some controversial calls, some moving screens, um, a kickball call. There was some controversial stuff, but it's basketball, it's sports, things like this happen. Um, you just can't leave it up to the refs, especially that at the end of the game where you're hoping to get a call and you may not get that call. And so the New York Knicks ended up winning that one. I want to say 121-117. A very good game. I want to say they're going at it again tonight. I don't know who I'd pick. Basketball is a very tough sport, but look at that point spread. You know, that's probably where where you're going to want to lay the money at tonight. Also, we had the Cleveland Cavaliers and the Boston Celtics go at it tonight. Cleveland's done. I don't believe in Cleveland, especially when you can't win a road game. Like literally, you can't win a road game. Couldn't win one in their first series against Orlando. Orlando nearly got them. They're most definitely not going to win one against Boston, as Boston being the best team out there right now. Um, and they got just smacked the other night, like 121-95. And they talking about Jason Tatum had a bad shooting night. He may have had a bad shooting night, but the players on that team, they're gonna pick him up, and they still smacked him. So Cleveland's cooked over there. Dallas and OKC. OKC gets the dub, and guess what? They beat the brakes off Dallas too. Man, these young teams with these young superstars, and mind you, OKC has a super young team with a lot of young superstars over there. A lot. I mean, my guy Shy Gillis Alexander. You know what I mean? You got Jalen Williams, you got Chet Holmgren, you got Giddy. They got some dogs over there. And they beat the brakes off of Dallas the other night. Dallas, they better get together. Luca, Kyrie, come on. Obviously, they got some good guys over there too. PJ, Gafford. They got some guys who can help. But y'all better be ready to run the court because these young boys can go all night. All right. Up and down the court. So y'all need to be ready. Uh, come that next game to try to slow them down a little bit, play a little better defense. Because if not, get out the broomsticks. It's gonna get ugly. It's going to get ugly. In other news, Kansas City's young wide receiver Rashee Rice is back in the news again. Now, about a month ago, Rashee Rice was involved in a car crash that left several people injured in Dallas, Texas, while he was driving at speeds of 119 miles an hour. Him and another young football player. Now, for all you athletes out there who haven't learned from the Henry Ruggs situation, come on, shame on you. All right, 1,000% shame on you. But he's back in the headlines again with another incident involving assaulting a photographer. More news will be, brought out about that, but it's not looking good for young Rashee Rice. I mean, just coming off his rookie season where he almost had 1,000 yards, 9 touchdowns, he had a really good rookie season and ended it with the Super Bowl ring. But this offseason, he's been making nothing but noise, and not good noise, the wrong noise. And that's probably why a big reason why the Kansas City Chiefs went out and drafted Xavier Worthy, wide receiver from Texas, and also went out and got Hollywood Brown. They still got other pieces, Sky Moore, Valdez Scanling. But yeah, come on, Rashee, man. You messing up your bag, brother. You messing up your bag. A lot of people will kill to be in your position. And right now, we're just watching you squander it away, ruining your opportunities in the National Football League. Because unfortunately, I'm sure you're going to get suspended. Hopefully, you learn from these situations. People are coming for you, my man. Just what it is. You have a target on you. You are a young superstar in the National Football League. So you got to be prepared and you got to make better decisions. Just all that is. Got to make better decisions. Uh, so hopefully, he young man learns from his mistakes, and he can find the right path. Because if not, he's on his way out. Someone who could have been a real star for Kansas City, had a huge role for them last year. Like I said, we'll see what happens. Lee touched on it already with the whole situation with Ryan Garcia. So, for those of you who don't know, Ryan Garcia, before every fight, you have to take a drug test, things of that nature. And one of his drug tests came back that he had a substance called Ostrain in his system. Now, he was going through basically an investigation process where the boxing committee is trying to figure out if this is true. And during that time where everyone thought, oh man, he took steroids, this and the other, Devin Haney went out and made some interviews because he thought he was in the clear. Devin was like, ooh, he took steroids? Now I can go and do these interviews. I could talk. I can say that I knew something was up, this, that, and the other. Well, Devin Haney made, all these things, and I knew he was I knew something was up because he just felt way too strong, this, that, and the other. Well, It comes out that Ryan Garcia didn't take anything. His B sample came back, and he came back, you know, that it was positive. He didn't, he or negative, whatever they want to call it. He didn't take steroids, to beat up Devin Haney. He beat the brakes off Devin Haney. And, his test results came back and he's in the clear. And so I know he is giving everyone who was, saying something to him, he's giving y'all the bird right now, big time. He is on y'all. 'Cause he's been on Devin Haney ever since. I mean, he's been dropping, songs, blessed, highly favored, I'm blessed, which a little catchy. And then he also came out with that Haney pack, uh, another diss track to Devin Haney. So I'm sure he's going to come back with something else to get people's juices, things like that, flowing and going, and to keep his name relevant right now because he has been making noise ever since. And so it's very, very interesting to see what will be next for Ryan Garcia. Um, Seen a few interviews where even Tank said he'd give him another opportunity. Tank's that man right now. I just seen him on a episode of $1 Million Worth of Game, guy Gillian Wallow, and they were talking, and him and Frank Martin, they did a interview together where Javante on one side, Frank on the other, and they talking, and Javante be talking that noise, boy. Frank's a good fighter, but Javante is just where he needs to be right now. Dude's a dog, got power, speed. He, in my opinion, is the face of boxing, and Ryan Garcia, Javante Davis too, will be huge. All right, especially with no rehydration clause. Come on, Javante, just do that. Just give the people that peace of mind, knowing that you could beat him without it, which we know you can. But let Ryan rehydrate. Let him feel big and bulky like he did with Devin Haney. I still believe in you, my brother. Still believe in you. NFL draft had came and it had went. We all got to watch, like I said before, some of your new favorite players get drafted to your favorite teams. And it was I was shocked in some ways, not surprised in a lot of others. If you guys watch my initial breakdown, I was hoping the Las Vegas Raiders ended up getting Jaden Daniels, but the Washington Commanders were hating on that. They didn't want to trade the pick away, and they ended up selecting Jaden Daniels with the number 2 pick, which, hey, who wouldn't? Jaden's a baller. 6 quarterbacks went in the first 12 picks. You had, sorry, I have to look off my little list. Not like I don't know, but you know, like I was saying. So we had Jaden or Caleb Williams go number 1 to the Chicago Bears. Now, one thing I want to say, the Bears, man, they had a great draft. Obviously, everything they did in the offseason to kind of build up that team a little bit, bring some pieces in there for Caleb Williams, because we all knew the Bears were drafting Caleb. We just knew it. But they brought in some great pieces. I mean, Keenan Allen, DeAndre Swift got some pieces on the defense, kind of bulked up their O line a little bit. And even in the draft, you getting Caleb Williams and then selecting Rome Odunze at the number 9 pick. Caleb got his guy for the future, and he has guys for the right now. I mean, DJ Moore, Rome Odunze, Keenan Allen, easily top 5 duo, maybe not even 5, but in the league already without enough stepping on the field. Uh, the Washington Commanders had a pretty decent draft. They took Jaden Daniels, which I like. Again, he's a dynamic football player. One thing about Jaden that he is dynamic. Um, and they also ended up selecting Luke McCaffrey in later rounds. Another phenomenal pickup for them. Commanders, with a good coaching from Dan Quinn, I believe in the Commanders. I feel like they can make some moves. They can make some things happen. Kind of excited to see what they do. Then the Patriots take Drake May. Okay. It's almost like taking Mac Jones again. Not saying Drake doesn't have a higher ceiling. Maybe he does than Mac, but Drake's probably not going to play. They have Jacoby Brissett over there, someone who's familiar with their system, um, someone who's probably going to get the initial start. But obviously, I could see Drake Mace taking over sometime down the line. Sorry about that. Obviously, he's young. He has good arm strength, good arm talent, but he has a lot to learn still. Let Jacoby. I mean, obviously, the Patriots got a lot of rebuilding to do anyway. So kind of let Jacoby, get the reins, let the young man learn the offense, learn what he needs to learn. and then you give him that opportunity later in the season. Hopefully, Jacoby can stay healthy and Jacoby balls, but it's the National Football League. You never know what happens. Moving on, you have the Arizona Cardinals taking Marvin Harrison Jr. No brainer. Kyler needs someone to throw it to. Hollywood's gone. D Hop's gone. Rondell's gone too. I want to say Rondell Moore's gone too. So he needs someone to throw the ball to. So why don't you go get obviously the best wide receiver in this draft class, Marvin Harrison Jr. Size, speed, hands, ability, agility. He got it. Dude's bigger version of his dad. So hopefully Kyler can stay healthy. Hopefully Marvin can stay healthy. Hopefully, I've seen they had some rumblings of maybe Zay Jones, maybe signing over there. I know Zay's going to visit the Cowboys. So who knows? Obviously, they're going to need some more help. Can't just be Kyler, Dylan, I want to say Dortch, Harrison. Need a little bit more help. Obviously, they're in a rebuild themselves. But I do like that they stuck with Kyler Murray, and they got him a weapon. Moving on. The Los Angeles Chargers select Joe Alt. Smart move. Get your franchise quarterback some help. Chargers had a decent offseason, decent draft. Again, you can never really go wrong with one of the top offensive linemen. Again, to protect a quarterback like Justin Herbert, they still need to provide that young man some help, but we'll see how it goes. I mean, he has some young talent over there. They picked up actually one of my guys I like, Lad McConkey, super sleeper when it comes to fantasy. That's someone I'm going to be targeting in every league I'm in because eventually he is going to be Justin Herbert's guy. They also picked up Brandon Rice, receiver of legendary, one of the greatest, if not the greatest wide receiver of all time, Jerry Rice. So they got some young talent over there. Obviously, they still got that defense, led by Derwin and Asante Samuel Jr. Unfortunately, they had some people depart, Kenneth Murray. But other than that, they still got, good coach in Harbaugh. They want to run the football. See how that goes. We will see how that goes. But yeah. So then the New York Giants select wide receiver Malik Neighbors from LSU. Dog. But I don't see the production, especially with Daniel Jones at the helm. Obviously, the Giants have taken receivers, some receivers in back-to-back drafts. They took Jalen Hyatt, speedy, explosive. They got Malik Neighbors this year, Darren Waller, the tight end. But they just need a quarterback, and they didn't seem eager to go get one like they wanted one. Daniel Jones is Daniel Jones. We've seen what he can do. There's nothing's going to change. They think they want to hope that he could be like Josh Allen. Josh Allen's first few years, not too good, but then came on strong and is a very good quarterback now. I don't see that for Daniel Jones. But maybe the Giants do. What do I know? I don't, I'm just your normal average football guy who played football and watches football, knows a little bit about football, but I could see that from a while away. Daniel Jones is not the guy. So we'll see. With the seventh pick, J.C. Latham from Alabama goes to the Tennessee Titans. Again, Tennessee has bulked up. They bulked up. Tennessee has bulked up. They bulked up, especially offensively. They believe in Will Levis. That's all it's telling me because they got D Hop. They went out and got Calvin Ridley. And they just went out and signed Tyler Boyd and bring in Tony Pollard. And all you're doing is bulking up the offensive line. You got the weapons, right? Division stacked right now. The division, whoo. When we're looking at that division, we're looking at one of the tougher divisions in football over there between the Jacksonville Jaguars, the Houston Texans. Between just them two teams alone, it's like, dang, that is that's stacked. That's stacked. Because Jaguars, they added some pieces for Trevor. Gabe Davis. Who else they bring in? Gabe Davis. Still got Evan Ingram. Obviously, they still got ETN. They brought in another receiver. Brian Thomas, which we'll get to there because he got drafted too. But they brought in Brian Thomas from LSU, another good receiver. LSU had some loaded receivers this year, like they have in the past, but they brought in some help for that young man. And so, Tennessee, I like what they've done again to compete with that division. I'm sorry, not forgetting the Colts, but the Colts also got some talent at the wide receiver position that we're going to talk about in a little bit too. And they paid Michael Pittman and Anthony Richardson's coming back. If that young man can stay healthy, man, that division loaded. Moving on to the most controversial pick probably in the draft. No one really expected this team to do this, except this team. And you had some people out there with some, rumors, but you never knew what was really going to happen. The Atlanta Falcons. They take Michael Penix Jr. with pick 8 after signing Kirk Cousins this offseason to a $160 million something crazy deal, right? And you go take Michael Penix, knowing that there's teams out there, which I'll get to in a second, who could use a quarterback. But nope, nope. Falcons want to be greedy. They want to win now and they want to win in the future, which I respect. Okay, I respect it. In a way, I do respect it. Okay. I get it. Kirk Cousins coming off an Achilles injury. You don't know what you're going to get. I mean, obviously, you know what you're going to get when it comes to his playing style when he's healthy. A guy who can distribute the football. Um, but how long do you plan on having Kirk over there? Because Michael ain't young. He in his mid 20s, 24, almost 25. How long do you expect him to wait? You know, like I said, my personal opinion, maybe you see what Kirk got you in the next year or two, right? Kirk can't get it done in the next year or two, you move on, right? You got a pretty good defense, over there. You got some weapons, Drake London, Kirk Cousins now, Bijan Robinson, Tyler Algier. You got some decent weapons over there. So we'll see. But now you got Michael Penix because you're just again, you guys are just planning for after Kirk. And Kirk wasn't too happy because that's basically what you're telling him. That's why he left Minnesota because Minnesota wanted to get a quarterback. They wanted to plan for the future too. So Atlanta said, you know what? We're going to get you, Kurt, and then we're just going to draft a quarterback. And then we're going to leave everyone else in shambles who wanted a quarterback. So thanks a lot, Atlanta. At number 9, the Chicago Bears took wide receiver Rome Odunze. Touched on that a little bit earlier. Dude's a dog. Great wide receiver. Big frame, great hands, great speed, great routes. Caleb Williams and him are going to be catching a lot of Caleb's going to be throwing a lot of touchdowns. Rome's going to be catching a lot from Caleb. So that's going to be an exciting. It's going to be exciting. I'm excited for the Bears. The number 10 pick, the Minnesota Vikings select J.J. McCarthy. Now, I thought potentially, and I made a little pre-draft video that Jim Harbaugh would have potentially wanted to trade for JJ. He was hyping JJ up like no tomorrow. Best draft, best quarterback prospect I've seen, best pro day I've ever seen. He was hyping JJ up. Now maybe he was just hyping JJ up so a team can really look at him and be like, "Ooh, let's go get this guy," But I thought he could have potentially considered trading Justin Herbert. You trade Justin Herbert, you getting some draft picks, a few firsts at that. And then you're getting a quarterback who you won a national championship with, and then you can start building from there. But he didn't. Jim said, "I'm going to keep who I got," and so the Vikings said, "Okay, well, we're going to take JJ McCarthy," and they took JJ with the number 10 pick. I like it. Vikings, another team who's made some good moves in the offseason, bringing in Aaron Jones. Obviously, you still got TJ Hawkinson. You still got Jordan Addison. You still got Jay Jettis. How could you forget that? And now you bring in a quarterback for the future for these young receivers and young tight end because Hawkinson's still pretty young. So I'm excited to see what they do over there. Kevin O'Connell, JJ McCarthy. I'm sure they'll mesh. I could see that working. With the number 11th pick, the New York Jets select an offensive lineman, Olu Fashanu from Penn State. Sorry, I probably butchered your name hella badly. My bad. They need offensive linemen. They got a lot of talent in a lot of positions, but as we've seen, week 1, Aaron Rodgers, with those 4 plays, he was running for his life. Hence why he got injured. So that's something that they need to do. They brought in some other pieces. Tyron Smith, they brought in some other linemen to help protect Aaron. So we'll see how this goes, and good luck to the New York Jets and Aaron Rodgers. With the number 12th pick, the Denver Broncos select Bo Nix. Good luck, Denver. Denver's on a rebuild. They have nothing but young quarterbacks from Stidham. They just traded for Zach Wilson, drafted Bo Nix, and they got Ben DiNucci in the building. They have a lot of young quarterbacks with not a lot of playing time and experience. It's a very young quarterback room with a good coach, though. I like Sean Payton. didn't have a good year last year. They was hating on Russ. Russ could have cooked in this offense too. But it is what it is. Raiders been sweeping the Broncos for the past 4-5 years. Not really worried about it. I can see the Raiders doing it again. Broncos finishing last in the AFC West. That's my opinion. With the 13th pick, the Las Vegas Raiders was on the clout. And with Michael Penix and all these other quarterbacks being taken, a lot of people were like, what do the Raiders do? Because, they tried to trade up, they tried to get a quarterback. Everyone was hating on the Raiders. They didn't want to, make no trades. And the Falcons really hated by taking Michael Penix Jr. So what do the Raiders do? What do the Raiders do? All right, fellas, let's take best player available. Well, who could that possibly be? Barack Bowers, tight end, University of Georgia. Brock Bowers been a dog since he was a freshman. He's been the best tight end in college football the moment he stepped on the field. Best tight end, no question about it. Got all the awards, got all the accolades. 2 national championships with Georgia? Dude's a dog. Super surprising pick. Because you were like I said, you were very curious. Like, what are the Raiders going to do? Where are they going to go? But they went and took best player available, Brock Bowers. So now they got 2 tight ends. They drafted Michael Mayer last year from Notre Dame, and they went and got Brock Bowers this year. I like it. All right. 2 dog tight ends, both can block, both can catch. Brock's elusive. The Raiders are already saying they're going to really, he's just going to be an athlete in that offense from a receiver, maybe a little bit of running back, maybe a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Super excited for the Raiders. They just got announced as one of the top 10 defenses in the league, coming in at number 8 because they know we did that last stretch of the year. And we just got better. Christian Wilkins, dog. Max Crosby, dog. Come on now. Malcolm Coons coming into his own, dog. Jack Jones, dog. Come on, bro. I can keep going. Listen, I can keep going. You know what I mean? Hey, Robert Spillane, dog. You know what I mean? Super excited for the Las Vegas Raiders, baby. We are about to start making leaps and bounds. With the number 14th pick, the New Orleans Saints select Tylee Fuaga. Sorry, can't pronounce some of these names, but he's a dog. Oregon State offensive lineman. Saints need it. They need protection for Derek. Derek needs time to throw the football. When he has time, he makes good plays. Excited to see what the Saints do. They've been underachieving, in my opinion, the last few years. Derek's first year there last year, everybody know I got love for Derek Carr. His first year last year was decent. They didn't, I thought they should have won the division. I thought they should have did a lot more than they did. But let's see how they do this year. They've, Saints are one of those teams that always have a good roster, good talent. They just need to get over that hump. So, with the number 15th pick, the Colts select Latu. Again, I'm sorry. UCLA edge rusher. Dude's a dog, though. Watch his interview on the Rush Pod with Max Crosby. I like that young man. He's very talented, good speed coming out the edge, good hands, good feet work. Excited to see what he does. The Colts are, young roster, but a lot of good talent. So, really excited to see what they do. Anthony Richardson, dude's a dog. I know everyone's a dog. You know what I mean? But anyways, with the number 16th pick, we got our first defensive tackle coming off the board, and not just defensive tackle, folks. First defensive player in general, and Byron Murphy going to the Seattle Seahawks. I like it. No more Pete Carroll over there. I forgot their coach's name, but he's a good coach. I like what Seattle does. They know how to find talent. They bring in talent. They develop talent really well, and I feel like they're going to be competing. They got Gino over there at the helm. They didn't get a quarterback. A lot of people thought they wanted to get a quarterback, but they didn't. But I like it. They're still fighting. They're still pushing. Hopefully Gino has somewhat of a bounce back year. Still got DK over there, Jackson Smith and Jigba. They got some dogs over there. Other than that, I'm excited. With the 17th pick, Minnesota Vikings traded up, and they picked up edge rusher Dallas Turner. Now, with the departure of Daniel Hunter and a few other pieces, they needed it. They got their quarterback. Now they went and got their star defensive player, young, hungry. If he came from Bama, so he's pro ready already. super excited to see what Dallas does. Vikings going to be an interesting team. Do I think they win that division? I think it's the Packers to win or the Bears. Just my take. I lied. Sorry, Lions. How am I going to defend? How am I going to disrespect? How am I going to disrespect the Lions like that? I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Detroit. That's y'all division to win again. But it's going to be an exciting division. It's going to be a fun division. A lot of talent in that division. Youth. I'm excited for that division. All right, moving on for the number 18th pick. Another offensive tackle comes off the board from Georgia. Marius Mims protecting Joe Burrow. Smart. Again, similar to a lot of these other teams who have franchise quarterbacks, go get him someone who can protect him. Right? Joe got injured last year. He needs protection so he can get the ball to his playmakers, Jamar Chase. Now, right now, it's just Jamar Chase. T. Higgins isn't really too happy over there. They let Joe Mixon walk, but the young man Brown came in and he played really well. So it's very interesting to see, where the Bengals are. I feel like right now, ever since they drafted Joe Burrow, got this coach, they just been one of those teams. It's like, okay, we know they're going to make a push when playoff time comes. And they did last year, but unfortunately, again, Joe Burrow got hurt, but Jake Browning played hell of football. So can't be too mad at that, but we'll have to see, what they do. All right, with the number 19 pick, the LA Rams take Jared Verse, Florida State. Hey, I like what the Rams do, even when they don't have draft picks. They know how to develop players and really get the most out of their players early. Look at Puka, look at Byron. You know, even with the departure of Aaron Donald, I think they're still going to be a really good football team. Still got Stafford, Cup. They picked up Blake Corum, which I do like. I really do like that because Blake Corum, was a really good running back from Michigan. So I really like that pick. And we'll get to that one. Maybe not because I don't think he went first round. But anyways, I like I like how they develop their players over there because they get a lot out of them. Like I said, last year you probably thought they would have had a down year, but they were on the up. Stafford balling, Cup balling, Kyron Williams balling, and Puka Nacua. What is he? Dog balling. So I like that. With the 20th pick, Pittsburgh Steelers take Troy Fanatu, guard from Washington. Got Russell Wilson, got Justin Fields. Now you just need to help protect them, give them some time. Very interested to see what Pittsburgh does. Very with those quarterbacks, and I'm hearing rumblings they want Justin Fields to return kick. Justin, don't do anything that isn't quarterback friendly. All right, don't allow them to start getting you to change what you do. You're a quarterback dude, and you're a dynamic one at that. Keep learning, keep developing. Learn from Russ, and you know you will be a starting quarterback again in this league. I don't know why the Raiders didn't go get you, especially if they knew they couldn't go get a quarterback, but it's neither here nor there. We're rocking with Gardner, we're rocking with Aiden. So, anyways, 21st pick, second defensive player. No, I lied. I lied. Not second. Not a second. Not a second. It's about the fourth now. It's about the fourth. What is it, fourth? No. Yeah, well, yeah, it is about our fourth because Byron Murphy went. Oh, wow. I'm sorry. One. Byron wasn't the first defensive player taken. Dude from UCLA was. Latu. Okay, so we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, with the sixth defensive player taken to the Miami Dolphins, Chop Robinson, edge rusher. Dolphins got plagued with injuries last year, man. Uh, Phillips, dog, got hurt with that Achilles, man. That was super sad, especially watching it on Hard Knocks. Nick, no, not Nick Chubb. I'm sorry, Chubb, Bradley Chubb, injured. That's brutal. So they suffered some big injuries, especially when they need these guys the most. So they go out and get Chop Robinson, edge rusher from Penn State. Dude's a dog. He's a beast. Physical, good hands, has the ability to get to the quarterback. He's someone I could see helping impact that team immediately. Again, only thing about the Dolphins is when it comes playoff time and they don't get that home seed and they got to go somewhere cold, they ain't looking too good. So we'll see how that works for the Dolphins, but I do like that pick. With the 22nd pick, man, Eagles stay getting good players, like good players, right? So they go and get Quentin Mitchell, Toledo, best cornerback in the draft, right? Dog. Pair him up with his idol, Darius Slay. Uh, this is a good coach football team. Another team that just develops players really well. And they don't just get Quentin, the number 1 corner in the draft. Then they go and get the number 2 corner in the draft. I'm just gonna skip to it because they went and got boy from Cooper DeJean the next day. He's a dog, man. I don't understand how he dropped so low, but they picked up 2 of the best corners. Eagles are going to be in contention again. They picked up Saquon in the offseason to pair with uh, Jalen. Just re-signed, gave extensions to Devontae and AJ. They're looking to go win the Super Bowl because last year they fell short big time. They started falling off big time last year, which was crazy to see, but they did. And this year they're looking to bounce back and have a different, type of season. And they're picking up some really good players. So I like what the Eagles do. They're really good at that. Then we had a trade, and this is what I was talking about earlier with the Jaguars. They traded up to the 23rd pick, and they picked Brian Thomas, wide receiver, LSU. What can I say about Brian? Deep threat, good routes, good hands, good speed, great pickup for them. Good size. Pair him up with Gabe Davis, Christian Kirk. Sky's the limit for Jacksonville. They got a good offense. They just gotta win, and they gotta be consistent and not lose games that you should be winning, because that's what Jacksonville did last year. The games they should have won, they lost. So it's like, come on, fellas. Then you had the Detroit Lions jump up. And I know I made the statement of Cooper DeJean and Quentin Mitchell being the 2 best corners in the draft. Okay, let me add one. Teron Arnold, Alabama. Dog. How the Lions end up picking one of the best corners in the draft, if not the best to some people. Dan Campbell, great coach. Lions, phenomenal season last year, man. Nothing but talent from front to back. Should have beat the Niners. They should have went to the Super Bowl last year. Unfortunately, Coach Campbell, hopefully you learn from your mistakes, can't be too greedy, man. Sometimes you gotta take the 3. You know what I mean? But I do understand putting your foot on their neck. That's what y'all did early. Unfortunately, gave them just a little bit too much life. And a team like the Niners, when they get a little bit of that, they know how to capitalize, and they know how to, maximize opportunities. And that's what they did. You guys gave them a few opportunities. They capitalized. They scored. They sent you packing to Detroit. Phenomenal season, though, Detroit. Great draft pick this year. Great draft picks last year. The future is bright for Detroit. For real, Jared Goff, bald. Excited for Detroit. Hopefully, you guys get another opportunity, to right that wrong. And I can see you doing it. So moving on to the 25th pick. We're protecting Jordan Love. We got some offensive line help. We got Jordan Morgan from Arizona. Hey, Jordan Love, great season. Packers, top 5, maybe not even 5, youngest team in the NFL. And they had a great, yeah. I'm gonna give it to them. They kind of started off a little rocky, but as the season progressed, Jordan Love got better, and better, and took them to the playoffs where they beat the brakes off Dallas. Um, Almost came up so short against the Niners, man. Again, it's one of those teams where you put your foot on their necks, but you can't make mistakes, especially late in the game, to give them a life. And unfortunately, they made a mistake, and the Niners capitalized like they do. Won the football game. I went to the NFC Championship to beat the Detroit Lions. So I'm excited I'm excited for a lot of these. I'm excited for football. I know I keep saying that, but I'm excited for football. So, but I am excited to see what Green Bay can do, especially because they got my guy over there, number 8, Josh Jacobs, coming from the Raiders. Oh boy, I wish the Raiders kept him, man. Dang, wish Raiders kept him. But unfortunately, can't keep everyone. Josh, had some injuries. Zamir White got his opportunity and he balled. He capitalized. Like I said, whenever you get, everyone take that Tom Brady, Drew Bledsoe approach. Stay ready. So when your number is called, you are ready to rock and roll. All right. Stay ready so you ain't got to get ready. Hope y'all like the shirt too. In honor of the A's, low key having a good year. Had to bring out the Ricky Henderson shirt. You know what I mean? All right. Moving on. The Buccaneers select Graham Barton, center from Duke. They're committed to Baker. Baker had a pretty good year last year. took them to the playoffs, beat the Eagles first round or in the wild card, whatever they did. Um, unfortunately came up short against Detroit, but Baker played good football. You know, he was able to distribute the ball to Mike Evans, make Mike happy, Chris, good running back. I like it. They got a good They had a good defense. I like the Bucks. Where do I see them at? See them kind of doing what they did last year into this year. I don't see anything too major, not a major leap, but I could be wrong. Obviously, that division is up in the air. It's winnable. We're looking at the Saints, Falcons, Panthers, and Bucks. So, if I had to pick a team to win that division, I want to say the Saints. But Kirk Cousins and the Falcons, they could do it too. But how can I disrespect Baker? They won it. So, we'll see. That'll be an interesting division. So then the Arizona Cardinals trade up to the 27th pick to select Darius Robinson, edge rusher from Missouri. They need it. They need it. Again, team that's on the rebuild. They need all the, talent they can get offensively and defensively. I don't see the Cardinals being that good, maybe 5 wins. Rebuild though. They're in a rebuild. So with the 28th pick, this one right here grinded my gears, right? This one grinded my gears. Because I gotta let the Kansas City Chiefs come up to the 28th pick to select the fastest dude in the draft, fastest dude ever to run the 40 in the combine, Xavier Worthy from Texas. Well, touched on it, Rashee Rice having some issues. They brought in Hollywood Brown. So then they, again, with Rashee Rice having some issues, so they're like, we need another receiver. Let's go get the fastest one in the draft. Tyreek Hill's gone. We knew speed killed. When we had Tyreek, we were almost unstoppable. So let's see if we can recreate that, and let's go get Xavier. Well, they got Xavier Worthy. Dude is fast, running 4.21 in the 40 from Texas. Good hands, great speed, great routes. Underrated on his routes. Great routes. Just needs to put on a little bit of size. He's small, 160, 70 pounds. Put on a little bit of size so you can be able to take those hits, stay healthy in the NFL. One thing I do want to say is the Raiders are coming for you, Kansas City. and we let y'all know that on Christmas Day that the tide is changing. Yeah, y'all want a bowl, whatever. Cool. Happy for y'all. But we're coming. That's all I gotta say. Moving on. 29th pick, Dallas Cowboys select offensive tackle Tyler Guyton from Oklahoma. Dallas. Everyone's scratching our heads over you guys right now. I had a little scratch right now. But we're scratching our heads. And we're not really too sure what Dallas is doing. I think Dallas is preparing for a rebuild themselves. Dak's on last year of his contract. CD's last year of his rookie deal. So is Micah. They're both going to be wanting some money. Dak had the best season of his career last year. He want to want some more money. Okay, here's my quick little theory. I think Dak Prescott either will play out the last year of his contract with Dallas and end up a Las Vegas Raider if the Raiders don't, get a Shadur Sanders in the draft, or if they're not even that high. So I could see next year Dak Prescott a Las Vegas Raider. I have to touch on that later in the video, but I think Dallas will be decent. 8 wins, 9 wins. I don't think they'll be as good as last year. Playoffs, that division's on the up. Eagles, Commanders will probably be 1 and 2 in that division. Dallas probably 3. Giants 4. I'm not hating on Dallas at all, but I don't really like what they've did this offseason. No Tony Pollard. Yeah, he brought back Zeke, but what Zeke gonna do? Run you to the playoffs? No. He's not the same Zeke that he was 10 years ago. Dak, CD, yeah, that connection will be there. But they lost Michael Gallup. He's a Raider now. So they still got some holes to fill offensively, and they lost a lot of defensive pieces too. And they lose their defensive coach, Dan Campbell, to the Commanders. I don't know. That's going to be an interesting one for Dallas. But I could see Dallas, third in the division. All right, we are getting down to the end where at the 30th pick, Baltimore Ravens take Nate Wiggins. Phenomenal corner from Clemson. That's just what they do. They really develop that defense. And I've talked about player development. They develop players really, really well. Nate's going to jump in there, be a day one starter, right next to Marlon probably, and be a dog. You see old boy from Notre Dame, the corner, Kyle Hamilton. Dude's one of the best safeties in the league already. That's just what the Ravens do. Harbaugh, great coach. They even picked up Derrick Henry, King Henry in the offseason for Lamar, someone who can take the load and rushing, especially when it comes later in the season. Lamar didn't have to have too much on his plate. They lose OBJ. They re-sign Rashad Bateman, which is kind of interesting. That's one thing you want to see with uh, Baltimore, some more receiving help. They got Zay Flowers, Mark Andrews, obviously two really good players. But you just hope to see them get like a really good number one wide receiver. And they haven't been able to do that. Odell was cool for them last year, but but they run the football. They want to run the football, play action. So, you know, I like the signing of Derrick Henry. So we'll see what the Ravens do. I think they'll be right there again. Phenomenal defense. They'll be right there again. Probably winning that division. Steelers bulked up this year, but I like the Ravens to win the division. I like the Steelers. Bengals will battle out for that second spot. 1,000%. The Browns, I don't know. We didn't talk much of the Browns. I don't think they had any first round draft picks. Um, Obviously, Deshaun needs to get healthy. They picked up Jerry Jeudy in the offseason, which I like. Jerry, Elijah, Amari, I like that. We're just rooting for Nick Chubb to get healthy. Ford, good coaching. Good coaching can take you a long way. So, Stefanski, coach of the year, which is well deserved. Had Joe Flacco looking like better than he's ever looked. So, yeah, we'll see. That division's always stacked, always loaded. Defense is always there in that division. So, we'll see how that goes. But I do like the Ravens winning it again. Lamar, two-time MVP. Dude's dynamic. Great football player. So, with the 31st pick, the 49ers take Ricky Pearsall from Florida, wide receiver. I like Ricky. Good, talented dude. Good hands, tough, good routes. It's a good pick for them. Good fit for them, especially with the controversy they have with Debo and Ayuk. Just just in case you don't have any of those guys to open the season, you picked up someone who can fit right into your offense, who's just as good, just as a dynamic player as any receiver in this draft. So I like that pick for the Niners. Uh, so we'll see what they do. Obviously, they still got CMC, Brock, good coaching, good general manager. I feel like again coaching and GMs that's huge, especially for player development. So I like that. I don't know how good the Niners will be this year, winning the division. Probably it's gonna be tough because I really do like the Rams, man. I really do like the Rams and the Seahawks. Cardinals, they're not. They're gonna be last. I like. I like. I like the Rams, man. Especially that Blake Corum, and they got Trey White. If he healthy, number top 10 corner in football, and they played really good football last year. I like the Rams. I'm gonna take the Rams just on the wing to win the division. I like them. I like it. And with the final pick in the NFL draft, or not final, okay, my bad. In the first round, 32nd pick, first round. Um, Xavier Legette, South Carolina wide receiver, going to the Carolina Panthers. Hey, Carolina has bulked up their offensive line. They've gotten some help for young Bryce offensively and defensively, and that's all you can ask for. Is every year as a young quarterback, can you see your team helping you in your future? Carolina has done that. They got a new coach, young, good coach. Excited to see what he could do for Bryce because I like Bryce Young. All right, he's a talented quarterback, so you just got to get them the pieces they need and some protection. They got him some offensive line help, some more receiver help. Legette is a big dude, physical. Um, they still got Thielen. They still got other pieces around him. I know they brought in some other guys. I can't really remember right now, very moment, but I don't see the Panthers finishing last. Ooh, well, mm. Well, between I don't, I don't see them finishing last. Well, when I look at the list of these teams, I'm going to tell you right now, my top 5 teams that will probably finish in the bottom of the league right now. I'm going to say, as I'm looking at a list, I'm going to say the Giants, the Cardinals, Panthers are in there. Hmm. I ain't gonna do the Cowboys like that. I ain't gonna do the Cowboys like that. I don't know. Okay, bottom three is 1,000% gonna be the Cardinals, Broncos, and the Panthers. Oh, and the Giants. That's four. So fifth, we'll see how that works out. But hey, super excited for all these young men who got drafted. Uh, you know, it's an exciting time for football, especially when you start getting to see them in training camp. They drop little videos. Again, it's around the corner. Um, so can't wait for football season right now. Again, basketball season is in full effect. I'll try to do more coverage on basketball. Um, Obviously, I'm a big UFC guy, so I'm gonna be talking a lot of UFC, combat sports, things of that nature. And so my goal, like I said, I want to do more videos. I don't drop enough, I feel like. So stay tuned though, because your boy is out here really trying to keep this grind up, this YouTube grind, this sports blitz media grind. And hopefully one day we can be booming, boy, trying to be at the draft, interviewing players, things of that nature. So we're gonna keep working, keep grinding, keep hustling. And for the people who do tune in, I appreciate your guys' support. It means a lot. Uh, Stay tuned, man. Peace.